Do you remember the ending of Goblet of Fire? That's when we find out that all this time, instead of Alastor Moody, the Auror, it was actually Voldemort's follower, Barty Crouch Jr. He had been working undercover at Hogwarts and teaching. Albus Dumbledore didn't even seem too surprised that Moody wasn't real. Of course, he told Harry that he only figured out the deception after his old friend had taken the student away right under the headmaster's nose. But is that really true? Did Dumbledore only realize at the end of Harry's 4th year that Crouch was impersonating Moody? I don't think so, because there were plenty of warning signs along the way. What were they? Let's discuss them today. The call to Moody's house. We first meet Moody not at Hogwarts, where he immediately proves to be an intriguing teacher, but a little earlier at the Weasley household, when Arthur and Amos Diggory discuss how to help Alastor. The Muggle neighbours heard bangs and shooting and called those, what do you call them, policemen? Arthur, drop everything. Says he heard someone breaking into his yard. Apparently they were trying to get into his house but knocked over his trash bins. Arthur, you know Mad-Eye. Who on earth would want to break into his yard in the dead of night? Most likely some crazy cat wandered by and got into the potato peels. At first glance, this dialogue serves to establish Moody's character, depicting him as a once great Auror who had become paranoid over the years, haunted by his past. That's exactly what we, the readers, and Arthur Weasley, along with everyone else in the room, thought. But would the headmaster of Hogwarts take this incident so lightly? Especially knowing that the Triwizard Tournament was about to take place? I'm sure that as soon as Alastor arrived at Hogwarts, Albus invited him for some lemon drops. But did the fake Moody manage to deceive the headmaster this time? Was he able to calm Dumbledore's suspicions, or did he only plant a seed of doubt? We'll never know for sure. But then events unfolded that should have steered Dumbledore's thoughts in the right direction. The ferret incident. I must admit, this is one of my favourite moments in the Harry Potter series. The scene where Moody transforms Malfoy, who was trying to attack Harry, into a ferret. At first glance, despite Moody's excessive, to put it mildly, reaction, he did the right thing. He protected Harry. This year's defense against the dark arts teacher defended Harry like no other before him, taught Malfoy a lesson, and showed that he was crazy enough to do whatever he wanted. However, this was very different from the real Moody's character. Think about his later appearances. In Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows, Alastor never uses magic against those who are weaker. He grumbles, scolds, and reprimands, but he never actually uses spells against students. This means the ferret incident was completely out of character. That was the second warning sign. The Goblet of Fire incident. The Goblet incident wasn't just a warning sign, it was a blaring alarm. Do you remember the moment when the goblet unexpectedly spat out another name, Harry Potter? All the teachers, including Dumbledore, were bewildered, unsure of how to react. Only Alastor Moody had an explanation ready. Only a powerful confundus charm could have made the goblet forget that the tournament was supposed to have only 3 champions. To trick it into selecting just one candidate from a school, that school must have had only one entrant. Most likely, Potter's name was entered under the guise of a 4th school. Seems to me you've given this a lot of thought, Karkaroff noted coldly. Here, Karkaroff unknowingly hit the mark. Moody Crouch had thought about this a lot. Such a quick explanation of a complex situation already seemed suspicious, but one detail made it even more questionable. Remember Philosopher's Stone, when Quirrell made it through all the obstacles? There's a fan theory that the defense against the dark arts professor didn't actually play McGonagall's chess game, but instead cheated, possibly with Voldemort's guidance, using the same confundus charm, making the chess pieces forget their mission. If that's the case, then Barty Crouch Jr. didn't come up with the confundus trick himself. Voldemort gave him the idea. An explanation that matched a familiar pattern should have convinced Dumbledore even more that something was very wrong. The next thing that should have confirmed Dumbledore's suspicions was Snape's reports. If Snape was willing to interrogate Harry about whether he was brewing Polyjuice Potion, then he definitely would have reported the missing ingredients to the headmaster. But Dumbledore probably didn't suspect Harry this time. He had someone far more interesting to keep an eye on. And finally, the last clue that should have confirmed for Dumbledore that there was another Death Eater lurking at Hogwarts, besides Snape and Karkaroff. Snape's dark mark had been growing stronger throughout the year. Remember how he showed it to Karkaroff? I'm sure that wasn't accidental. Snape, possibly on Dumbledore's orders, was trying to see if he was the only one whose mark was reactivating and what another former Death Eater thought about it. In any case, all these signs should have made it clear to Dumbledore that an imposter was hiding at Hogwarts under the guise of Moody, using Polyjuice Potion. Did other teachers suspect anything? That remains an open question. And what about you? Did you suspect Moody of being a spy when you first read the book?